Do not leave ranked games in the middle of the bloody match. Oh my god. Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa. So, I've been doing a lot of reading around on places like Reddit. I've been looking at conversations taking place on Twitter. I've been looking at all the feedback you guys have been leaving on the videos that in fact, on one of my most recent videos where I asked for your experiences on the competitive mode on Overwatch, just to see like how you guys have been getting on with the game and what's been going on. My experiences, as I put forward in that video, have been extremely positive because I have been playing in a full team, and what that means is almost every game we are getting matched against another full team, or at least 5 players and 1 random. This means that team does not leave when things are going bad. However, I just want to read this comment off from Reddit and possibly another one, because this is completely shocking, and I implore people who are playing the game right now not to leave. Do not leave matches. It's just terrible behaviour. You go into competitive to win. If you're not winning, alright, that's fine, but then you need to dig deep and try and turn around the result. If it's a total whitewash, you've been walked over, you've been rolled over, whatever the hell you want to say, that's also fine, because then that means you go away and you learn from the experience. What you don't do is quit and be a salty, mardy little git. I hate that attitude, and it is the worst, but it seems that it is absolutely everywhere at the moment on Overwatch, and we need to go out and tell people not to bloody do this, because it's terrible. So on Reddit, we've got a comment off a user called Dealing Damage, and this is what he says. In one of my matches, we were playing King of the Hill and Lijiang Tower. We were crushing them pretty hard. They didn't have a very good comp and started to pressure them almost all the way back to their spawn. One of the people in the chat said how it was really rude that they were being unsportsmanlike. And on the second map, we got a quick team kill and our Genji pushed up pretty far to their spawn. The same player said that he was leaving because we were being rude and he didn't want us to get full credit for the win. So what that means is these players leaving, let me just explain why these players are leaving. So obviously they leave the game because they just don't want to be in the game. Oh, it's a loss, I don't want this, they leave the game. They still get a penalty for that. And if you keep leaving games, you will get banned eventually from the whole competitive season. So don't leave games. But the big issue here is if you have a full team of 6 against another full team of 6, and the team and those teams have got average ratings at the start, okay? So you know how it's going to go. If the enemy team has a higher rating than you and you win, you'll most likely go up a level. If they've got a lower rating than you and they win, you'll go down a level. That's basically how this works. The problem is when people start leaving the game. So on King's Row, let's say, you get to the very final point and they just start leaving the game because they say it's all over. They can't be bothered to carry on. You've just played against that entire team and you've got them all the way to the payload and they've given up. What happens then is you get a very small amount of XP. You get if any of you guys played the control point maps before they fixed that, you get a really small amount of XP, and it's infuriating. It's literally like 1/10 of the entire level. Now that is not fair because you have beat that team and they've decided to give up, so you should still get recognition for that. You played so well, you beat them into submission. And also, on the point that Dealing Damage said with the player on the enemy team was saying you're being rude and unsportsmanlike, this is competitive. You go to win. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If it's within the rules of the game, how can it be unsportsmanlike? If you push an enemy team back to their spawn and you spawn camp them and it works for you, then it works for you. That's fine. See, again, this comes back to the whole mentality of quick play and competitive. Quick play is for fun. Competitive is also for fun, but it's for serious kind of fun. You know, you want to go in there and win. Now, I'll link to this post on Reddit because it is very comprehensive and there's just loads and loads and loads and loads of examples. Also, go and check out the video I put out the other day, which, as I said, asks for your experiences. Even look at my Twitter interactions where people are sending me messages of tales of woe. And I'm like, I was going to actually go in for some solo queue just to see what this is like. And I am going to do this. I'm going to do this after this video, though. So I guess I'm either going to come out more salty or really angry about it. I'm going to try and not be angry because, I mean, I believe that it should be a little bit easier when you are playing almost in solo queue or with like maybe 1 friend or 2 friends, because when you're playing with an entire team, the game tends to match you up against an entire team, so it becomes a bit more difficult because you'd expect that entire team to all be on voice comms and be, you know, a bit more coordinated. The biggest issue with this right now is that Blizzard are not punishing people enough for leaving the game. There is no way that the winners in a game should be punished because people on the other team have left. Now, I understand there's probably... The reason why it probably does this, maybe, although this kind of doesn't make sense, is maybe you get somebody disconnected because their internet goes down or anything like that. At the end of the day, they've disconnected from the game, and it's impossible to work out why. I mean, maybe they could scan the chat logs before, you know, if somebody's getting really abusive, then just quits the game, and then maybe they could work on that. But I think that's a bit too ridiculous to work on. My main issue with this is, if you are winning, and you are winning so good, like you are smashing the enemy team and they start leaving the game, then you automatically win. You should still get the full recognition and they should get all of the negative recognition. What shouldn't happen is one of those guys can leave, and that means that because you've won, you suddenly get much less XP because they left at the very end of the game. It doesn't make sense, and I hope this gets fixed. In fact, I hope I'm making a video on this in a couple of days saying, oh, it's fixed and it's fine. But guys, please do not go into ranked games thinking, I'm going to leave the game if we're going to lose. That is part of the whole thing. It's part of the whole shebang. You will lose games, you will win games. If you keep winning every single game, then the matchmaker is not working. You should have difficult games. It should be interesting for you to play. Guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unit Lost. If you want to send me any more feedback, do so over Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming. Also, leave a comment in the video below, in the discussion, in the comments below. I'm getting very heated, ladies and gentlemen, in the comments below the video. And yeah, I will catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.